Hello, welcome to the post-match stream here on Wrexham AFC on YouTube. And it's a draw at the racecourse this afternoon. Wrexham 1, FC Halifax Town 1. Wrexham took the lead on 18 minutes through Scott Bowden before a controversial goal from Scott Garner for Halifax just before half-time. Potentially a hint of offside, not too sure yet. We'll have to see that on the replay, but it's a point for Wrexham this weekend. Of course, it was not the result we were hoping for, looking to go into the game with perhaps, getting that win before a massive game against Sutton next weekend. So, yeah, for Wrexham, it's a disappointing end to the afternoon. A few big talking points from this game as well. A debut for Jonathan Franks. He came on as a double substitution with Jack McCreth, only for McCreth to go straight back onto the bench after Paul Rutherford, the man he replaced, was booked for a second time. On commentary over on Carl FM, we weren't too sure if the red card had actually been brandished to Paul Rutherford. He went off as a sub. Then the referee had that sudden realisation that he'd made a bit of an error in terms of letting the substitution go ahead. So McCreth was taken off. It looked like Franks was going to go off at first. However, of course, Rutherford came on for Jack McCreth. So point for Wrexham this afternoon. Not the result we were certainly hoping for. Halifax will be happy with that, of course, under their interim boss, Neil Young, at the moment. Billy Heath, who was manager, left just a few weeks ago. It looks like they've got a replacement to be announced today or at some point. But, yeah, absolutely. Halifax, at the moment, they're not pleased with their league position, but obviously to get a point for them away at the racecourse. We've yet to lose at the racecourse since August, the first game of the season. Of course, remember, you got live chat on here, so any questions you do want to ask. Cameron Monroe, seriously angry. Just came back from the game, and he's not too sure what Marcus Kelly was up to. Marcus Kelly played in more of a central role again. I thought Kelly's, since we've introduced the likes of Jonathan Franks, and you've got the likes of McCreth on there, Quigley as well, and you've got his teammates as well, Debenix, Kelly, and players like that. Kelly is perhaps stepping up his performance, or he has to step up a certain performance. That may be the opinion of some of the supporters, and I'm sure there are some supporters who do think that, like Cameron himself, who's asking the question. But yeah, I think a lot of the players are probably going to step up at the moment in terms of keeping their position, because we've had the likes of Akil Wright, Leo Smith and James Hurst all not in the matchday squad, all fit. Mark Carrington and Ollie Marks weren't, of course, due to injury. But that's now the strength in depth in which Wrexham now do possess. Morgan Tate says, why did Rutherford get sent off? It was just a second bookable offence. He got a yellow in the first half, and then in the second half he's picked up that second one. The referee booked Rutherford for the second one. We're not too sure if he showed him the red card or not. However, he's left the field of play as a substitute, and then the referees realised that he's made quite a catastrophic decision at that point anyway. So yeah, Paul Rutherford was sent off. I think it was just two fouls worthy of a booking. Is what we've garnered from it. But, yeah, we've got potentially a special guest as well coming on to the live stream here as well. But always keep your questions coming in. Cameron also saying that the ref shouldn't ref again. Well, the referee did have not the best of games, shall we say. It was there were some decisions in that game. I think at the end as well. It was Sean Tooton at the end for Halifax, who pretty much helped the ball on with his arm when he was playing down the left-hand side, looking to get into the corners as well, because Halifax, they were happy to take a point here. And he's pulled him back. He's seen the offence. He's not booked him either. So it's some strange decisions being made in the game by the referee. Wrexham Yantos saying the goal was offside by miles. Again, yeah, really, if we watch that goal back and we see if it was offside, obviously that's a hugely controversial goal here. And, Wrexham, there will be a real feeling of injustice, really. I think the ball was played in. It was a nice routine from Halifax, the corner they did take. It was short. They played 1-2. ball into the box. It went across the face of goal, and Garner was there at the back post, looked offside to tap in from half a yard in. So, yeah, it was disappointing, obviously, for Wrexham. Keep your questions coming in and your comments as well. Cameron Monroe as well, going for their attacker. I assume you're talking about Tom Denton. Yeah, he had about 4 or 5 warnings in that game, I think. Nothing was given in terms of a yellow card or anything like that. There will be some sense of injustice this afternoon, and we've now got a massive game against Sutton United on next Saturday. We've got Solihull in midweek as well, just after that. So we've got to get points at the likes of Solihull. Next week's a huge bit of a 6-pointer as well. In the last 13 games of the season now, they're all big games. And you've also got the likes of the week after that, I think we've got Aldershot coming up as well at home, so that is a big game for us. And some disappointing results out there in terms of the teams around us. Macclesfield, who were a goal down to Guiseley, they pulled it back and they won 2-1 at Moss Road, so that's disappointing. Wrexham now off top spot. I'll have a look at where what the league table is looking like at the moment. But I know that there are a few results that did go our way and a few that haven't as well. And that's the way it's going to be. We've been used to a couple of years we've not really paid attention to what's going on away from the racecourse. Well, at the moment, it's all the focus is going to be on getting those results and bettering the results of other sides. So looking at the scores and fixtures of the National League, if you haven't had the chance to have a look at those just yet, we've got Barrow and Hartlepool, which was postponed, Bromley 2, Maidstone 2, Dover 0, Sutton United 1. So Sutton United with a win going into next weekend's game at the Borough Sports Ground. Eastleigh 0, Boreham Wood 1, Ebbsfleet 1, Solihull 0, Gateshead 1, Fylde 2, Leyton Orient 1, Tranmere 1, Macclesfield 2, Guiseley 1, Maidenhead United 1, Torquay 2, which is an interesting result at the bottom of the table. Woking 1, Chester 0. And, of course, Wrexham 1, Halifax 1. Dagenham and Redbridge face Aldershot this evening. And a big result for Wrexham as well. In terms of Tranmere as well. Tranmere were leading at Leyton Orient. Richie Sutton scoring just before half-time, before Holman just after half-time, managing to pull Leyton Orient back. So that's a big result in terms of sides who are chasing us at the moment. Macclesfield go back to top spot. Wrexham adrift by 2 points. Macclesfield also do have a game in hand. Tranmere now in the top 3 as well. So that's a big result. Wrexham 2 points clear of Tranmere at the moment. And next week's opposition, Sutton, are sat in 5th, and they are only 4 points adrift off the top. So I think there's 7 points that separate Wrexham, top of the league, Macclesfield, from Fylde, who occupy that final playoff spot. Boreham Wood, the side no one's mentioned at all, really. They are in 6th, and they're still going, Boreham Wood. They could be a bit of a surprise package as well. Bromley also a point off the playoffs as well as Dover, who've slipped out of the playoffs. And then there's a bit of a gap, 5-point gap between 9th place Dover and Ebbsfleet and 10th. So, yeah, it's wide open at the moment. 13 games to go this season. Really, it is anyone's. Wrexham know that next week, if they get that win, it'll be a huge result for us. But, we've taken 4 points off the likes of Tranmere. We've obviously disappointed against Macclesfield, losing those 2 games as well. That could come into play come the end of the season. But it's just a huge game for us this weekend. And it does feel very much like it is 2 points dropped today. However, it could be a point. Wrexham, they go on to win the league by a point or go on to secure the 2 second and third places in the playoffs. It could be a really good point for us today. But a few more questions coming in. John Phillips says, need a big following at Sutton. You couldn't be more right, John. It's a huge game for us. Bit of a trek to go down there. I went down there last season. But these lads need your support next week because it's going to be a massive game for us. It's a chance for us maybe to put some space between ourselves. I think 5th, I'm saying, so we could put a real gap between ourselves and 5th with a big win there. We've also got last season we'd have been happy for a draw, but now we're angry that we've gone 2nd. Yeah, that's a huge turnaround, though, isn't it? Really, you look at where we were last year. Look at where we were. Sort of even just back end of last season. We're now unhappy to have gone down to second. It's huge progress that's been made here, especially under the likes of Dean Keats, Andy Davis, Carl Darlington. It's been massive step up for us. We are in a title race, 13 games to go in a title race. Those games are going to come thick and fast as well. It's a huge part of the season. We need the town to come here in numbers against Aldershot at home again. Yeah, home support is hugely. Thank you. Yes, that special guest as well. But again, home attendance against Aldershot would be massive. And we're joined as well by Kevin Roberts. Kevin, if you want to take a seat. So get your questions coming in as well. We're just discussing how that we need a big following as well, because next week's game is going to be so huge. But considering today's game, Kevin, it's perhaps 2 points dropped.
Yeah, I'd say definitely 2 points dropped. The goal was very disappointing. Yeah. I think there was a minute left when we could have cleared the ball and we tried playing out a bit, give a free kick away, which was unlike us. We normally manage the games well, and then we've conceded off a set piece, which is an hard one to take just before half time. Yeah, second half I thought we controlled the game a lot better, but without really hurting them. They camped in, they were set up well, so it was on the counter attack second half, and we just couldn't nick that goal.
Yeah, started off, especially that first 20 minutes, firing off all cylinders as well. We got the goal. You got forward as well, put the ball in for Scott Bowden to get the goal, to really cross in as well. But you seem to be getting forward a lot more in this game as well. And as weeks have sort of gone on, you pushed on.
Yeah, it depends what type of game it is, really. Like last week at Guiseley, it wasn't that type of game where it was, it's from back to front pretty quick, so it's quite hard to go and join in the attack 80 yards as a defender. But when you're at home, I think you get forward a little bit more, and there's a lot more build-up play. You build your way up the pitch, and I do enjoy getting forward, but first and foremost, I've got to defend.
Couple of questions are coming in for you. A couple of comments as well. Rex says well played. A lot of complimentary comments on there as well, saying Cameron says he's best player on the pitch today. Ethan, interesting one, because we've just been talking about this. Their goal, was there a hint of offside?
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. I thought he might have been. It was my man. All my hands up, come off the back of me, but as the ball's just come in the box, I've gone to meet the ball, and I think it was Brown come out of nowhere with a diving header.
Yeah.
So then obviously I've come off my man a little bit. I think it was going in anyway. And when I seen Garner put it in on the line, I was hoping it was offside. I felt like he could have been, but I'll have to see it again.
Yeah, look, I think from where we were, pretty much everyone we've spoken to about it, I think it dropped in the box and he just tapped it in.
He tapped it in on the line.
So I think that's where the offside position coming from. Whether or not it took a touch up on the line, that's when the ball was tapped across.
No, it's basically at the goal, and then he's hit it up the line. So he could have been off, but it doesn't matter now anyway to go on, doesn't it?
That's it. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously disappointing. They were always going to fight for lives, and I think one of the big talking points of the game was Paul Rutherford obviously being sent off. We saw that he'd been given the second yellow. We'd known he'd been given a second yellow. Did the referee brandish a red card? Did he show him the red card?
I think he did. But no one's. He said he did, but no one's seen it. But if he's got 2 yellow cards, so it's a sending off. What I don't agree with, I think the amount of fouls, especially there number 9, Denton done. I think he got away with 6 fouls. That was even a booking. I think I'd be lucky to get away with 2 fouls without getting booked. So I thought the yellow cards were branded out a bit easy, especially for us today.
Yeah, I mean, was this those sort of games? They are the ones that frustrate you as well, and in terms of whether or not you should have been given bookings, decisions have been given. It's hampered the flow of the game as well. When we were flowing, we were creating chances that we looked really dangerous.
Yeah, I think the last 2 or 3 weeks we've looked really dangerous in games. We've been scoring goals, and then the last few games as well, we've gone back to being solid at the back. I don't think they really look like scoring other than a set piece or something like that. He didn't really open us up. We looked solid again today, especially second half. I think that we limited them to very few chances, and even though they're down there, they had a threat going forward. Got some really good players up top, and the handful with Denton. So, but I think we've just got to start again. We'll go to Sutton away on Saturday. Sutton away on Saturday. Try and keep a clean sheet first and foremost, and the way we've been playing of late, fancy us to go and score a couple of goals.
Big away games now, Sutton and then Solihull. starting to look at. I think they're fifth at the moment. They're I think 4 points off at the top themselves as well. So that's going to be a bit of a 6 point on that one.
So yeah, it's the top of the table, playoff / top of the table clash. Two teams fighting the playoffs and the league at the minute. It is on 3G, so it'll be a little bit different. I don't agree with it. I think it gives them teams an advantage, but we've got to go there and deal with it, and then only after that game we can focus on Solihull.
There are a few people saying we need a big following to Saturday's message for the supporters, for the backers all the way down there. I know it's a long way to travel.
It's a long way to travel, and it's unbelievable when we see a big following. It does help us. If that, we'll get a few more people in the cars and on the train. It does help us a lot. Guys, it was like home game for us, which we was on all game, and hopefully come Sutton there'll be a good following there as well.
The rest of the answer just asking, were you in the first half?
I wasn't booked, no.
No, I said never know in that game.
No, there was that many yells.
Yeah.
I wasn't booked. Not what I know of anyway.
We really well in terms of, especially first half, we were playing the ball out from the back. It seemed, is that always the message for you guys? Especially the pitch in quite good condition, especially for this level at this time of year. We played it around nice football, but it was from the back, wasn't it? It was throughout the team.
It depends on what other teams do. They played the one up top and didn't push the midfielder in when that keeper had the ball, so obviously that gives the opportunity to two centre halves to 2v1, so you can play out. The games of the two strikers just go and push on the two centre backs. It's almost impossible to play out unless you do something really quick, and the full back can get it then. But they all dropped off, and they had Denton up front on his own, and our two centre backs could get it. So, as the gaffer says, if the option's there to play out, play out.
I think that's fantastic. About the result, but next week, big game. Hopefully go there and do the business for them. But thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks a lot. Cheers for that. Nice well.
So Kevin Roberts there. Obviously a disappointing result for us, but we do go again. Obviously, as Kevin was saying, we need a big following there at Sutton United next week. Keep with us. It'll be a big game for Wrexham. Hopefully we can do the business there. But thank you very much for joining us on today's post-match live stream. Not the result we wanted, but Wrexham will go again.